Hello, good morning, good morning. So good news, I got my OBS fixed. Display capture wasn't working. I switched to window capture. So today we're going to be doing the trim of this house. And we need to know how to use the boolean modifier because there are some cuts and corners that are funky. So we have a cube rotated 22.5. This one's rotated 45. So these are going to be our base cubes. So let's practice using the boolean modifier real quick. So fun little tidbit. If we go here, we have it on this object right now, which we don't want to do, but if we go like that and then apply, we get a nicely shaped hole, which is very convenient. We'll have to keep that in mind, but we don't want the boolean modifier on that. We want the boolean modifier on this. Let's see if that works. Then we just adjust it to where we want to cut it, which is right there. And then if we apply, there is our 45. Ooh, looks like I didn't quite get all the way. But there is our 45-degree cut. So keep that in mind. Let's take these objects and move them over to our room so we can duplicate them and adjust them as needed. Looks like our room's not quite on a 0. There we go. Now, I'll have to do some math because there's trim on the doors and I don't have anything for that right now. So I guess what we work on next is the doors. So let's get this level to where it needs to be. Let's actually go into wireframe, select this object. Now we should be able to, oh look at that, it's already perfectly lined up against the wall. Okay, and then we can just, let's actually stay in wireframe. We should, in theory, nope, just want this. Should be able to just do that to where we need to be. Actually, we need to do some cuts there, so we'll leave it. Let's move this. So I'm going to go ahead and move this, and then I'll show you guys the cuts. So we're just going to go ahead and line this up right on the corner. This is where we're going to cut. We're going to start with this one. So we're going to do difference, object that, and then apply. Now we should have a nice 45 degrees there. Then if we go up, we're going to do the same thing here. Let's go back down, and we're going to line. Ooh, looks like this isn't quite where it needs to be, so we can actually shove this into the wall as much as we need to, because we're going to cut a lot of it out. So we're going to line that up perfectly. Then add the boolean modifier, which because I had it already on the object, it's already there, so that's fantastic. Trim, oop, failed to set value, what's wrong? This cube, there we go. And we're gonna apply that. Now we can move this cube out the way, so we can use it for later. And now we have some, 2 nice pieces, whoops, GZ. Nice piece of trim. This needs to actually be moved out, so let's go into wireframe so we can get a solid view of that. And we should, there, perfect. Then we go like that. Trim's a little out of place, but let's line this 2 up. That's what it'll look like. We'll close that gap and then we'll start it on the next piece. What I think I'm going to do instead is, because there's a lot of corners, I'm actually going to, this only has 1 trim. I'm going to duplicate that along the Z so we can have it for later. And this one, I'm going to do a double cut so we can just duplicate it, make our lives a little bit easier. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to move this down. Ooh, that's a little trippy. Down where we need it to be. I'm gonna line this up so it's 45 degrees. It doesn't really matter how short it becomes. Make sure this is all the way up. So we can always extend that. Actually, we need it to be this one. There's your 45. Add our boolean modifier. Select this object. Be able to set value. Will you not do that, please? Oh, I didn't. Boolean. There. Now it should work. Yep. Now if we apply, move this out the way. Excellent. Now we should be able to just take this edge and drag it straight into the corner where we need it to go. Sadly, that corner is kind of hard to see, which is why we do wireframe mode. Just so you can get a little extra visibility, you know. There. And now we're just going to go ahead and duplicate that, and I'll finish most of the trim except for these two corner pieces. I'll be sure to show you the process for that. So we also have to measure out where trim doesn't go, because I have to make room for doorways and stuff. Doorways? Yeah. But something that's nice about the boolean modifier is I can shrink and flatten this as much as I want. So like this cut isn't the cut that I need it to be, but I can always just add another boolean modifier and cut it. It's like working with actual trim. We've got quite a bit of trim. So instead, I'm just going to show, instead of what I was originally planning on doing, I'm going to show the process of just kind of laying them out, and then we can edit them from there as needed. Oop, that looks like it's crooked. This, check our object. This should be -180 even. And we don't want anything to be like perfect, because actual trim, when you do it, it's really hard to get perfect. I found out, because I've done some trim work before. It can be tricky, especially if the trim has like a weird curve. If the trim has a weird curve, then when you mark it where you're gonna cut, it's not always gonna cut. It might go a little bit past because the curve kind of throws it off, so you have to take that into account. Okay, here's all the trim pieces. I kind of laid them out. So we'll finish the walls, then we'll measure for the doors. And yeah, it looks like kind of a mess, but there's probably a more efficient way to do this. Like instead of making them super long, ooh, that's what I should have done. I should have made them short. And then I could duplicate the short ones and then adjusted them as big as I need to, but I can still do that now while they're large. So I did make my life a little bit harder, but I think it's good to show you what's going on, you know. Okay, one thing I found that's pretty cool while I'm doing this about the boolean modifier is as you move this object in wireframe mode, you can actually watch as the object that slices, I don't know if you can see it, but right here, you can watch it slice the object, which I think is cool. Hopefully this is the correct cut. I'll have to double check, but I think I need 22.5 degrees. I'm gonna go ahead and double check, but oh, here's that trim done, then we'll extend out to the door. Another cool thing, so I was concerned, like, how do I size this correctly so it fits? But then I remembered you can change your transform orientation. So instead of global, when I'm moving this, I can only move like this. But if I go local, now I can go, yeah, in and out, baby, in and out. All right, there's that. And actually, we do kind of want the trim to be imperfect, because real trim is definitely not perfect. Like right here, there's actually a little hole in the wall because they pushed that wall back so this trim piece could fit. New shortcut, I think, to like right now. So Blender is awesome. I'm learning out. So right, I want this cut to be over here. Actually, wait a minute. I don't want it at all. But that we're demonstrating. If I do Control-M and press Y, it flipped it. How cool. All right, so floor trim is all set up and ready to be resized. Now I just need to work on window trim and door trim. Once we get that, so it'll be a lot of math, so I'll skip that part, but I'm just measuring out my doors and stuff. So let's do that. All right, so it looks like most of our door trim is the same height. So if we just put this against our wall here, because actually, which way does the trim look? The thick is on the outside. So yeah, we need to reverse this. So if we go Control-M and then along the X, Control-M, X, excellent. I'm so glad I learned how to do that. That's so nice. It's so nice. So now we're going to line this up with this bottom line. Okay. And now we're going to adjust the height so it's to the floor. All right, we got our size accordingly. And now we just need to, at least I think that's right. Is that size right? Yes, well, it's actually not quite right. We need to make another cut. Where is our cube? I think I deleted it. Well, that's fine. If we do this and move our 3D cursor, because I have learned that the 3D cursor is also very handy, then we're going to actually scale the, whoops, we just want, oops, I accidentally added it while in edit mode. So let's get into object mode, add a cube, scale it up a bit, and then we're going to make those cuts, and then I think I'm going to show you the finished door trim and then skip ahead to our window trim. All right, here is the door trim. The door trim is complete. We have a door right here, a door right here. I feel like that gap is a little small. We might need to double check that. A vent goes there, but I might have gotten the measurements wrong. And then here is closet door. And watch this, efficiency. All I'm going to do is duplicate that into the Y direction. Whoops, we need to switch this to global. I'm going to rotate along the Y-axis 180 degrees. Then that right there is like 90% of our door trim. I just need to figure out, let's actually put it against the wall so we don't have to do that. Actually, it was right where it is. Perfect. Now all we need to do is figure out where it goes left and right, up and down, and then just the sizes, and we're good to go. All right, there it is. Now all our trim is in place. This is the start of our window. Then we have all the doors all modified and ready. So now let's create a collection. This will be trim. Take all of this, move it into trim. Then we can probably join it later. And then we're going to go ahead and control click this. Whoops, we're going to select all trim and this. And we're going to parent it. So now if we move this object, now we've got all the trim in place. All right, see you tomorrow.